A lot of Eagles fans are all happy. We signed a veteran quarterback, an experienced backup quarterback in this league. Don't be fooled. Josh McCown is not that good. What is going on, everyone? The Eagles signed Josh McCown. They snag him from retirement. They snag him from the ESPN booth. They signed him for $2 million, which can be $5 million with incentives. We know with Nate Sudfeld going down and with Cody Kessler going down that we had to do something because the only options were Carson Wentz, which we're not going to see in preseason, I believe, Clayton Thorson, who will probably be a practice squad quarterback, and he has a lot to learn. And what, Greg Ward? That's not going to fly. So we had to make a move. And sure, it's a nice move. It's a veteran guy, 40 years old, been around the block, experienced 76 starts, 23 and 53 in those starts. He's not good. He's not a good quarterback. He's just an experienced quarterback, which you can argue is better than, say, a Nate Sudfeld coming back from missing 5 weeks and having a broken wrist. Sure, it can be. But let's not go too crazy over this move. There's this problem we have here in Philadelphia because of what Nick Foles did that we think the backup quarterback is so important. It's not so important because to me, Carson Wentz is the most important thing we have. And let's get this straight. This is football. You get banged up in football. In 16 games, if Carson misses 1 or 2 because of a banged up ankle, a banged up knee, a tight groin, whatever the case may be, if he misses 1 or 2 games throughout 16, okay, that's going to happen, and sure, Josh McCown can go in there and have experience and be serviceable. He's not good, keep in mind, but he's experienced, so you just take your chance with that maybe he can win you a football game. The problem with Carson will be if it's a 9, 10, 11, 12-week injury that keeps him out for the full year. That's where we're going to have the problem. But Carson Wentz, for the millionth time, is the only quarterback that matters. This is just a move to get someone in here because plenty of people have been banged up, and he's a veteran guy who has played before. Do not act like this 40-year-old man is good. Do not act like he is going to step in and do whatever happened in the past if Carson Wentz goes down. That's not how good Josh McCown is. He's bad. Look at his stats, and it's not just based off statistics. I've watched the guy play in this league for the last however many years. He is not talented, but it's a body that we needed, so I do agree with bringing him in here. I'm just trying to make the fan base understand and realize what the expectations should really be. 23 and 53 in 76 starts. One point I heard was, well, Josh McCown is a veteran guy. When you have film study, when you're in the quarterback room and plays are being talked about, he can help Carson. With all due respect, and this isn't because I think Carson Wentz has a big ego, because I think the complete opposite, but Josh McCown isn't going to be the difference in whether Carson Wentz is going to be elite this year or not. Carson Wentz is going to have the same year this season, whether Josh McCown is the backup or not. And I keep referencing Josh McCown as the backup because that's just how I see this going. With all due respect to Nate Sudfeld, and with all due respect to what this organization thought about Nate Sudfeld over the years, and maybe this is the year that he takes his jump, I can't imagine the Eagles going out and paying this man the $2 million, potentially $5 million, and taking him from retirement just to be the third stringer. I can't imagine Josh McCown accepting that if he was going to be the third stringer or just a camp arm. I expect him to step in and be the backup quarterback. And realistically, I have more faith in him than Nate Sudfeld, and that's not based off of anything other than he's been in NFL games before, legitimately. hasn't been good in those games, but he's been in them. And the fact that Nate Sudfeld is coming back from injury a little bit into the season and being a little bit slow compared to being on top of things, he's going to come back and have to work his way back into it. He doesn't just come back after those however many weeks he misses and he's just back. No, it's going to be slow. It's going to be a process. So to me, it's almost a no-brainer that Josh McCown is going to be the backup. Is he ring chasing? Is Josh McCown ring chasing? It's a possibility. Would he have went to a team like I'm just spitballing off the top of my head, I don't know, I'm thinking of a dumpster fire team, the New York Giants right now, and I picked them, I understand their quarterback situation is completely different, but you understand my point. Would he go to the Washington Redskins right now? Probably not. There's value in the fact that Howie Roseman's the GM, Doug Peterson's a great coach, this team is built to win now. There's value in that for Josh McCown, and he looks at it with a possibility of winning a championship. So maybe he is ring chasing. And by all means, good for him. Good for him. I don't judge him for that. To me, it's this simple. It's a body. And it's a body who has been out on the gridiron on Sundays before. We are overvaluing the backup quarterback position as a whole. This year is about Carson. You can see Carson. You can see his body. You can see the way that he's matured when it comes to preparation. I think he has heard so much from the media and from the outsiders about his health and can he stay healthy that he has focused so much in the offseason on preparing his body the right way, whether it comes to what he eats, when it comes to stretching the right way, whether it comes to the mental side of the game. He has put together so much intense preparation for this season. It's all on him. This is what it's all about. We shouldn't be worrying about the Nate Sudfelds, the Clayton Thorsons, the Cody Kesslers, the Josh McCowns. It's not about that. That's the last thing we should be discussing. And of course, it doesn't help that the preseason this year is dreadful and it's unwatchable. And in both games, you see a quarterback go down. So I understand why it is a conversation, but let's cool it down a little bit. It's bothering me. There's no reason for it. What really matters is a 1 o'clock on a Sunday, Lane Johnson, Jason Peters, Jason Kelsey, Carson Wentz, Miles Sanders, Jordan Howard, Alshon Jeffrey, Nelson Aguilar, Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert, Malcolm Jenkins, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Avonte Maddox, Rasul Douglas, dare I say Sidney Jones. That's what matters. Not the guy with the clipboard. Not the guy with the headset. And oh yeah, by the way, that guy with the headset on, with the clipboard, is 23 and 53 in his 76 starts. He has an obnoxious amount of interceptions. Take it for what it is. It's a body. Will we see Carson Wentz in week 3? I really doubt it. You lose 2 quarterbacks in 2 straight weeks. What shows you that it's a great idea to put him in a game? It's just reality. It's the way the NFL is going. It's not just the Eagles. It's the NFL as a whole. Sure, there are some teams that elect to go out and play their guys. But guess what? Whether those guys play in this preseason or not, it doesn't relate to what's going to happen in October, November. Do you think if you win a game in November, you say, man, you know why they won that game? Because of that snap that happened in the preseason week 3? That's why they won that game. If they come out and have a little bit of a slow start, that's better than the alternative, going down in preseason. And when I say a slow start, I'm saying, okay, it takes maybe a half to really get some flow going. 3 quarters. It's better than the alternative, going down in preseason. It's a no-brainer. The starter should be limited. You saw what happened in Miami. One of their big-time players gets hurt because he stood out with the second-team guys in preseason. It's not worth it. There's no correlation from having a series in preseason to what's going to happen in week 4, week 3. It's silly. It's silly. So I want to know your thoughts down below on the Josh McCown signing. How do you feel? Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.